Quick guide on RLC-510A version 2. If you have the version 2 as of the recording of this video, there is no firmware update. If you download this, it doesn't say version 2 on the end, it will think it's an update at first, but it will fail. So that will go nowhere. When you watch this video, hopefully you have a firmware update to find. Camera name you probably set when you set up the mobile app to configure the camera in the first place. Under display, camera name and watermark should probably always be disabled. Date and time you hide if you have blue iris doing it itself. Like if you have a bunch of different cameras, having blue iris do it instead looks uniform, but evidently having the camera itself do date and time, not blue iris, is faster. So decisions to make. Under stream, it said 10 to 15 FPS is best suited. That's that. I didn't change anything in here. Surveillance, you probably want to disable completely unless you have a micro SD card that you're using as like a backup for some reason. It won't integrate with Blue Iris in any way whatsoever, but yeah. So same thing with storage, you would ignore if you're just using this with Blue Iris. Under network settings, two things. One's required, which is to scroll down under port settings and enable RTSP and ONVIF because they're disabled by default. It's recommended to go into setup under network information and put in a DNS there. This is Cloudflare and this is Google. Generally good choices for that. After that, you would have Blue Iris. Just go in to add a camera. The first screen, it doesn't really matter what you put in here, at least so far. Under video, set the FPS to 15. If you have an NVIDIA card, set it to that. If you don't and you have Intel, put it to that. I'm not sure what's best for AMD if you don't have Intel, because I'm running this on a NUC, but figure this out because it's very, very helpful. And then in here, IP address of the camera. When you log into the camera, you set a password. You put it here. The port for ONVIF changed to 8000. The default is different if I remember correctly. And then you're going to want to enter these here. This will enable the substream to be a lower bit rate or bandwidth hog than the main, which is very good for deep stack if you run that. And then I think it also has other beneficial things. This is disabled by default, so enable that. And then I don't run audio, so I don't have recommendations for that. In here, a lot of these were for different guides, and this is best suited to deep stack, which I highly recommend trying to figure out. I'm pretty sure they'll work without deep stack, but some of them might not be really necessary without that. I'll say what deep stack is in a second, which is right now. The default AI for Blue Iris for me was catching like little pieces of something on a spider web, for example, that was hanging in front of the camera. So this will just make sure that it is something that DeepStack can identify. So far, I've only really seen these, but depending on the speed of the computer running Blue Iris and DeepStack, I have it set to medium. It's possible high will be able to recognize things like a bird. That'd be cool. Besides that, when you go to record under video file format and compression, set this to directed disk. If it doesn't work, try to figure out why, but if it does, you're going to want to have this set. Other than that, a lot of these other settings in here are general, just because I just threw this camera together. But this is a completely different camera that I have that has mostly the same. I haven't gone and lowered the FPS yet. It has different things to run. I don't think this was necessary. I don't think I just did anything on. Oh yeah, I probably messed with the date and time, and I have. This is where the date and time are coming from. So that's that. Yeah, this is the same. I think I have a zone V. So you can set it up so that it'll indicate which zone triggered. So if you're like trying to find something and you know they like walked over a certain area, you can filter through just those. Because if you're like me and your street has like on average 500 to 1,000 things happening on it, it's kind of hard to look through. Same thing here for AI. These might be a little different. But yeah, that's what would definitely work with that camera. And okay, thank you. Hope you have a good day.